morning and namaste, everyone. Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, honored guests, dignitaries from ISBR, thank you very much for inviting me here, particularly Dr. Manohar, who thought of inviting me. I'm honored and privileged to be here. And it's really exciting. As we progress in our careers, as we go about our lives, one of the most exciting and rejuvenating aspects is when we get to interact with students, because we get to see that youth, that spirit, that life, that energy, and it's just a pleasure whenever we get that opportunity to be in an educational institution. And particularly, I've never been in an occasion like this when we're inaugurating a new batch. So it's my great pleasure. It's great to see. It's great to see all these young students here, full of energy and full of this hope and zeal as they embark on a new, as all of you embark on this new journey, right, with your MBA program. So I'll just share a few quick thoughts with you. I am currently at IBM. I've been there for more than a decade now. And in this company, IBM, worldwide company, huge presence in India, as you know. It's just the 13 odd years that I've spent there is just but a very small in the history of this company, right? We are more than 100 years old. And so what I've learned a lot is how a company can keep reinventing itself and be current and be relevant and be ever young is one of the big messages that IBM has taught me. Because imagine a company that's more than 100 years old, even sold slicing machines and so on, to be in this area where I'm able to work with thousands of clients worldwide on cloud computing and really defining the direction going forward. So it's, I think that's one of the things that you should think about, how as a company, as an individual, as an institution, how do we keep that constant spirit of rediscovery, reinvention, and being relevant, right? And we are seeing a huge change right now. It's always a changing times, right, that we deal with. But the current period is extremely interesting, just unprecedented. It's all being driven by the tremendous amount of data that's out there, and the kind of data we are generating through the trillions of sensors that we have around this planet, by the kind of internet and capability that we have through mobile phones, and by the huge social networks that have just multiplied in a way that nobody could have imagined. So just in the last 2-3 years, if we look at the data that has been generated on this planet, it is more than the data that has been generated in the history of mankind, over the remaining history of mankind, just in the last 2-3 years. And this is just still the beginning of exponential increase in data that's continuing. So it's a very different ball game that we are into, which we are all still learning and trying to see how we deal and take advantage of this huge treasure of data, and how do we make sense of it, how do we leverage it, how do we run businesses with it, how do we create new products, new experiences, be more relevant, more responsive in real time, be much more intelligent. So all this is something that is happening right now, which is unprecedented, and you are going to be in the middle of this new wave, this new era, which is going to be driven by understanding and leveraging data. And supporting that is this huge new infrastructure that has emerged, and the new kind of computing paradigm that has emerged, which is broadly being called the cloud, right? And so this cloud and data, and being tied with this whole explosion of user interactions through mobile devices, and having anything they want anytime, and being able to access and get a real-time response and engagement and insight into what they need to do, and being able to do that, and being able to do that while being connected to all the people and groups that they care about. You're seeing whether it's WhatsApp or whether it's Twitter, all this social media and how it is evolving. So this is a new generation, new kinds of business, new kinds of opportunity, completely different paradigm that is emerging, and that is extremely exciting. And you're going to be in the middle of this and leading this. So I think it's a wonderful time. And I was very excited to see in the name of your institution research as well, right? And research, and I am from a research background. It's been in my blood for many years. And even if I move to other areas, once a researcher, always a researcher. And this research mindset that we always look at exploring new things, thinking of what comes next, thinking of what will be the game changer, that mindset is extremely important. That is something I would call out to all of you to keep in mind as you embark on this journey. Now, while we talk about these changing times and all these new trends and all these new opportunities, there are some fundamentals that are, I think, permanent and which we should never forget. So I want to give what I would see as three fundamental messages. So Chandramouli gave such a engaging, interesting talk. It was very, there's no substitute to the experience and the kind of insight that he has. It was very interesting to see how he engaged with the audience and really spoke from the heart. When we see such people, the question that comes to my mind is, so what is the fundamental ingredient of success? Again, like him, I'll ask the audience, what do you think is the fundamental ingredient of success? Confidence, knowledge, discipline, goal, punctuality, passion, perseverance, commitment, or hard work. So all good answers, right? Accountability. So we are all learning, right? Just keep these in mind. So I would go back to the very first word that I heard, confidence, and I would call it belief. I would call it faith. So I think the most important ingredient, fundamental ingredient is faith. What you believe in. What you believe in defines you. I think this human being, as human beings, we are made up, more than anything else, we are made up of faith. We are made up of belief. We reflect what we believe in. We are what we believe in about ourselves, and we are driven by what we believe in. So I think faith is the fundamental ingredient that defines us and makes us what we are. So that's something I would really call out to you. Have great faith in yourselves. It depends on how big a belief you have in yourself, and how big a belief in what you want to achieve is going to define what you are going to achieve and what you make of yourself. So I would really, that's something I have seen again and again in my own career in life. I've seen people coming from various backgrounds. In my own life, I have started in not very well-known institutions and then gone on to very, very reputed institutions and educational or business-wise. Ultimately, if I see the people who succeed, these people really believe in themselves. They have no question about it. They think they can do it, therefore they do it, right? So there's nothing, it's as simple as that. If you really, really believe that you can do it, you can. And it starts with that. So that faith is extremely important for success throughout. Now the other quick message I would like to give is about leadership, and particularly from India. We are in an era of tremendous opportunity to lead from India, in India and from India, right? And for India, of course. There is the kind of market that we are in, the kind of growth we are in the midst of. It's a tremendous amount of tremendous opportunity for leading in this market. And leadership not just in this market, but with the kind of talent that we have here, it is an opportunity to lead the world from here. And to me, one of the most exciting aspects of my journey here and my experience here in the last few years, I came back to India after being outside India for more than 20 years. And it's been one of the most exciting phases of my life, absolutely. Particularly because there's so much talent here. And if we believe in ourselves, we can really rule the world, meaning we can really set the standards and be the leaders for the world. My exciting aspect of what I've been doing is, while I have a global team and I have teams all over the world, people all over the world, excellent, tremendous leaders in US, Europe, China, Australia, Singapore, etc. Right? But about half my team is in India, and from India we are able to go and work with clients in all corners of the globe and set the direction. Right? Say we are able to get the best people from India, and they are able to have the greatest depth and vision, and are able to guide clients to where they need to go. So that's and this is the era where there's this more and more we can lead from India. So please keep that in mind, that as you should think in those terms. You should think of yourself as leaders. You should be thinking of yourselves as the people who are going to define leadership for the world in whichever field that you take up. And that brings me to my the third point that I would like to convey, which is leadership always goes with excellence. And leadership is defined by excellence, not by a position, not by somebody calling it out for a small period of time. It is a constant spirit of excellence, constantly setting the standards. So leader is defined by how they set standards of excellence that everybody else can follow. Everybody tends to follow the leader. The standard that you set is what everybody follows. So then it becomes not just a 1 minute thing, it's a constant thing, right? Excellence is something that we always strive for. We are always trying to get better. We are trying to always set the standard of where we need to go, and having that vision and having that belief and setting the standard is what excellence defines. And this is where I think we in India need to more and more believe in ourselves and think in those terms, because often it is even now, for the most part, we are seeing other people in the world leading and setting the standards and us following. That is the majority even today. Even in business, it is the people in other parts of the world that are really defining what needs to be done, and it's being executed from India. But we need to change that and say, we believe in ourselves as leaders, we set the standards of excellence, and we become the golden standard that everybody follows all around the world. So that, I think, is the mindset I would really invite you all to take on, and congratulate you as you take on this new journey, and wish you all the best in this tremendous changing world that we are in of fantastic opportunities. Thank you.